All right, happy Friday. I wanted to come on here and encourage you today. I've been reading the word and I need encouragement too. I don't know how your week's been. I don't know if sometimes we get tired of waiting for things to take place or happen, and we have to enjoy every day and the moment, right? And so that is my reminder today is tomorrow's got enough worries of its own. Let's focus on today. And how are you doing today? Today, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So we walk by faith and not by sight, right? Well, I was reading the other day and I was preparing for a service at church. And, I've read the Bible front to back a couple times, and God always has something to say. There's always something to encourage you to keep your foundation so set and firm on Him. And so I was really excited coming across a story that I'd never really connected with before, but now I'm connecting with it, and I was super encouraged by it. So I want to super encourage you with it too. And so we're going to go to 2 Kings 8, verse 1 to 6, and let this just grab your heart too. So whatever it is you've been waiting for, longing for, thinking about, God's got you. He knows, and He's working it all out. Amen? Okay, so 2 Kings 8, it starts off, it says, "Now Elisha had said to the woman whose son he had restored to life." So if you remember that story, this is where it's continuing. He says, "Go away with your family and stay for a while wherever you can." So let's stop there. What kind of instructions are those? Go away for a while. What's a while? I don't know, but you're to go away for a while. Okay, wherever you can. That's not very clear either. Wherever you can and go for a while. Sometimes we're waiting for God, tell me exactly what to do and where to go and do this and that. This just kind of throws all that up in the air for me. And I go, wow, that's not very clear, but she knew to go. Okay, so he says, because the Lord has decreed a famine in the land that will last 7 years. So she knows how long that famine's going to last. Okay, the woman proceeded to do as the man of God had said, and she and her family went away and stayed in the land of the Philistines for 7 years. So that's not even her land. She's a Shunammite woman, and this is the land of the Philistines. So she's staying somewhere that she, probably feels like she doesn't belong. At the end of the 7 years, she came back from the land of the Philistines and went to the king to beg for her house and land. So again, after 7 years, so you don't hear from her till after 7 years. So what happens during those 7 years? Her kids get older, right? The family, I don't know, maybe it's bigger, maybe it's growing. 7 years can give you a lot of time to really doubt. Did I go to the right land? Am I supposed to be here that long? Can you imagine all the things going through her head in 7 years? Well, in my own life, I can relate to this. 7 years can sometimes feel like such a blink of an eye, but when you're in it, it feels like a long time. It feels like a long time, and you keep trudging through the water, and you keep going, and you're saying, God, there's something that's going to happen from this. I know it. And you keep holding tight to the promises of God, holding tight to your faith, keeping that joy, smile on your face, and guaranteed she probably didn't wake up every morning and feel so joyful and smiley and happy, right? But she had to turn her trust and say, okay, God, I trust you. So listen to this. After 7 years, when she came back from the land of the Philistines, she went to the king to beg for her house and her land, right? She let it go, and she left, and now she wants to come back and have her land back. The king was talking to Gehazi, the servant of the man of God, Elisha, the servant of the man of God, and had said, tell me about great things Elisha has done. So look at this. Here's the king already talking to Gehazi, the servant of Elisha, and he's asking him the miracles. What's happened with this Elisha? Tell me about the great things Elisha has done. Just as Gehazi was telling the king how Elisha has restored the dead to life, the woman whose son Elisha had brought back to life came to beg the king for her house and land. The exact timing that the king is asking about the miracles, right? The miracles are spreading through the land. The king is asking, tell me about this, right? Tell me about this encounter. Tell me about what happened. And just as he's telling him about what happened, the woman walks in with the son whom Elijah had raised to life. That's powerful. That's only God's timing. So Gehazi says, this is the woman, my lord the king, and this is her son whom Elijah restored to life. Here's the physical evidence right here. Here's the physical, manifestation right here. And the king looked to the woman and asked the woman about it. And she told him. So here she is walking in to be like, I've got to beg the king for my land and back. God, I pray for favor, like maybe she's asking, God, I don't know what to do. Lead me, help me, guide me, right? And here she walks in and she's about to say her spiel. And he's like, tell me about the miracle. Tell me what God has done. I'm sure that just shook her off completely, because she said, then after she told him, then he assigned an official to her case and said to him, give back everything that belonged to her. Give back everything that belonged to her, including, now get this, including all the income from her land from the day she left the country until now. That is 7 years of increase that was laid up for her and that she gets back now. That's wow. Okay, folks, that is wow. When I read that, I just said, wow, God, here we are. Sometimes we don't know if we're to go to the right or to the left. Sometimes we don't know, am I in the right place right now, God? Am I doing what you want me to do, right? How many times do we ask those questions? But what's important is when you get the direction, like she got the direction, you got to go and come back, go, and there's a famine coming. So you've got to leave for a while, right? So you're going to come back, but you got to leave for a while. Anyway, the direction wasn't clear, but she did have the knowing to go. Okay, so whatever then she chose, that God was leading and guiding. God was with her. God was blessing her. The rest of the details you don't get to hear about. But then what happens is when she went back in obedience, she goes back. And she's thinking a whole bunch of things. She's probably planning everything she's going to say, how it's going to happen. How many times do we overthink things? So she's got this all worked out. And guess what? The miracles are talking for themselves. Yeah, the blessing is all around her. The miracles are talking. And the king wants to hear, what did God do in her life? What's this miracle? I want to see. And you know what? Favor surrounded her in the entire situation, and so much so that she was restored from the income of her land. She increased, and it was for the past 7 years. It was stored up, was given back to her. I just tell you, God knows what you're going through. God's got increase for you in difficult times. And if you're feeling like things are just difficult, frustrating, tight, pressure, you've just got to know, cast your care upon the Lord, right? He says he cares for you. Just cast your care. And you're not to carry that heavy burden, that heavy weight any longer. You are to rise up every day and be hopeful and joyful and know that God has got you. You submit to him in everything, and he will lead and guide you. And be patient. Be patient. Your harvest is here. Your harvest is ready. And you are walking into it today. Today, be so grateful in where you are and what's happening, because your Father loves you and he's got all things working out for your good. Amen. Have an amazing day. I got more word that's coming out. Be blessed and bless others today.